Welcome back to the Home Cringe Show. I'm your host, Katie Shahan, and today we have our wonderful guests, Nick Hickman and Rich Kerner. But first, before we get to that, we have our user-submitted Home Cringe Moment, and it's from Brett in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. And his Home Cringe Moment is he woke up in the middle of the night and found water leaking out of his water heater. So if you do not know where your water shutoff valve is, that can lead to some bad problems. So if you guys want to hear your user-submitted Home Cringe Moment on our show, go to our Facebook page, Home Cringe, or you can even find us on LinkedIn and drop us a message about what's your worst moment, and maybe we'll feature you on our show. So today we're here with Nick Hickman with Monkey Wrench Plumbing. Hey, Nick.
Hi, how are you?
Not bad, you?
Good.
Good. And we always start off our show with doing a fast pitch where I ask you as many questions as I can in 1 minute.
Okay.
And you tell me how, and then our listeners learn a little bit about you and get to know you.
Sure.
All right. Ready?
Yep, we're ready.
How long have you been in the plumbing industry?
I finished plumbing school in 2008, so what would that be, 15 years?
What's your favorite way to drink your coffee?
Black. It's the only way to drink it.
Do you have any interesting animal or insect encounters while on the job?
I'm sure I do. I mean, there's always interesting dogs. I have some that lay on my stomach so they work on the sink.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, what areas of the Twin Cities do you service?
We try to stay in the south and the west metro, but we have one of our guys who recently moved to Stillwater, so basically the 694, 494 loop we cover now.
Perfect. And then what is the most common tool that is left behind on the job?
One of my guys, my head of the service department, has lost, I think, 12 pairs of channel locks in the past year. He always leaves them places. And
the customer gets a bonus when they use your service? They get a free channel lock?
Basically, yeah. If one of our guys goes out, there'll almost definitely be a tool left.
Well, I have been the beneficiary of those oops moments, and I appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, so you heard about our customer-submitted cringe moment. Now you have to tell us what is one of the cringy moments you've encountered in the plumbing world.
I mean, the worst is a service plumber. We call them something else. We'll say poop walls. And what happens is the old pipes, cast iron, will eventually rust out, right? And so you get the call where there's a little bit of water on the floor or a sewer smell. And it's at the point where now if I walk in, I see it in a certain spot, I know what's going to be in the wall. And you open it up from stud to stud, and the whole wall in this one was just poop. Just fell out, and the whole pipe was cracked all the way up.
So it wasn't even in the pipe.
It was out of the pipe at this point. The pipe was about half gone and deteriorated.
That
and it is
very cringy as a homeowner.
So those are never fun.
So on that topic, are flushable wipes flushable?
No. I mean, anything's flushable, right? You can flush whatever you want down, but they're not going to dissolve, and they're going to cause bigger issues down the road.
Thank you. So all of you listeners out there, if you're going to use a flushable wipe, put it in the trash can and not down the sink.
Correct.
I mean, obviously not down the sink.
Right. Not down the toilet either. Yeah. Or the bathtub, for that matter. None of them.
That's awesome. Okay, so you being a service plumbing organization with Monkey Wrench, you guys do water heaters?
We do, yep.
And water softeners? And any plumbing issues that we have?
Anything, yeah. Water, natural gas related, we can do those.
So if I want to change from electric to a gas stove, I can call Monkey Wrench Plumbing?
Yep. We would do the run new gas line. Make sure your home can handle the BTU load, the amount of gas that's required for it. Make sure that you're good there. But yeah, we do those all the time.
Perfect. What is the best? So whenever my toilet clogs, which I don't care who you are, it will happen. And so you keep flushing it, and the water is just rising and rising.
Stop flushing it would be the number one thing to do. But when you hit the flush and you see that water start going up, the best thing you can do would be reach for that shutoff valve that should be right behind your toilet. Give that a turn, shut that off, and then grab whatever towel you have and put it along the base of that toilet. Per code, those toilets are supposed to be caulked or sealed to the floor. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people that don't do that. Mm-hmm. Handymen, flooring guys, because they say they want to see water come out, or homeowners. They want to see the water come out when that wax ring fails. Oh. What it actually does is it prevents it from when your toilet overflows, it going underneath your toilet and then dripping through the ceiling below. Mm. That's what that caulking is supposed to do. Or if you're mopping the floor, preventing that water from going down and wrecking the ceiling or something below it.
That's a good point.
So grab a towel, throw it around the base of that toilet.
Just in case.
Like I said, stop flushing it would be the most important thing.
Awesome. On that note, there are things called moisture sensors. So I had a water softener bottom give out, and there was not only water but salt all over my nice basement floor. And I thought to myself, and I never, you don't see it until all of a sudden, all I saw was the salt glistening on the cement. I didn't even see any of the water, so I don't know how long it was in that state, but I've learned really quickly what water moisture sensors are, and so I'm curious on your thoughts on that and like the best places to put them in your house.
I'm a fan of them. The best ones, don't ever buy an appliance or a fixture that comes with it built in, would be my first recommendation. You're going to pay a lot more for it, and it's not going to do a great job. If you go on Amazon, Home Depot, wherever, and you can buy a multi-pack of them, I always tell people throw one by your water heater, put one maybe by your sump pump, one underneath your dishwasher, and then from there on, depending on how you use plumbing, if you have a lot of kids, maybe throw one behind each toilet in case that overflows. If you're one of those people that shoves a ton of junk underneath their kitchen sink, maybe throw one or two under there so you don't knock the trap off or something like that, or at least if that starts leaking. But I like them. I think they can do a lot of good, tell you what's going on. And they do have some, I think, Wi-Fi enabled ones, so you can always check remotely if they're going off, what's going off. But just don't buy one that's built into any fixture. They just don't work the way they should.
So, mentioning that, I actually met Nick because I was out of town and someone was staying at my house, and she sent me a little video of my the water dripping from the ceiling in the kitchen onto the floor. And so I was panicking because I usually try and do all of my plumbing myself because Nick is grimacing. That's his cringe moment, hearing that.
That would be my cringe moment, yes.
And so I was struggling to find someone that could help me since I was out of town. And Nick, so I've actually used his services before, and he not only came the same day, but I was really shocked at how low my bill was and that it's okay to hire a professional every now and then.
Yeah, as far as cost goes, if you stay away from the really big shops, in general for business, the more overhead you have, the more your bill's going to be. So if you hear commercials or see them on TV, that's just straight overhead. So they're usually more expensive.
And so he saved. So it turns out that the sink in the vanity in the bathroom upstairs was leaking, and it was leaking at, I'm going to use Katie terms, and you can translate them into real terms.
Okay.
It was leaking at the water shut off, so even though the person staying at my house shut the water off, it continued to drip. So, is that the right words?
Those are the right terms. Well, kind of. Technically, those are stops. I don't know why they're stops. A shut-off valve would be the actual bigger valves, and the stops would be the small little chrome ones under sinks and toilets. But you're right, so we're going to go with you're right.
Thank you. So as a reminder, you guys can turn off the water with stops. The stops. Under your sink. You can prevent your dishwasher from doing it. And so anytime there's water connected to an appliance or a sink or an outlet, there's always a stop, right?
There should be a stop. It's not code in single-family homes. It's not code to have them under sinks still. Most people should have them, and we highly recommend them. If you're in a townhouse where you have to shut down the whole complex, then it is code that you have to have them.
Gotcha.
But in single homes, it's not code underneath the bathroom sink, but you still should.
And to remind everybody, you can shut off your water to your house.
Yes.
And usually that's in the basement?
Usually in the basement. Most of the time it's by your furnace. There'll be a pipe coming up for where your water meter is. You actually have two shut-off valves. You have one below the meter and one above the meter. We recommend making sure they work. Even all of your stops, try them all at least once a year. Make sure they still move, just to make sure that when you need them, they do work.
Perfect.
But, yeah, know where your shut-offs are.
And so, again, we're talking with Nick Hickman and Monkey Wrench Plumbing. You can reach them on monkeywrenchmn.com. And what's your phone number, Nick?
763-370-0063.
And I can text or call you.
Yep. Give me a text or a call, whatever works best for you guys.
Well, thanks for being on our show, Nick.
All right. Thanks, Katie.
When it comes to the ever-important task of home maintenance, the struggle to keep everything organized is real. Are you grappling with a jumble of receipts and invoices in that messy drawer of yours? Or perhaps they're scattered through old emails and making it all too easy to lose track. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. This is Katie Shahan, and I've developed the perfect solution, the Yarlo app. Picture this, an app that sweeps away the chaos and brings order to your home management woes. Yarlo is your free ticket to seamless organization of all things related to home maintenance, improvements, and even those ambitious remodeling projects. With just a few taps, you can effortlessly input receipts and warranty details, ensuring that every piece of vital information is right at your fingertips. I invite you to step into the future of home management. Throw away the paper and join the paperless revolution. Download the Yarlo app or visit yarlo.com today. That's YARLOW.
North Base Construction, great service from the ground up. Roofing, storm damage and siding. Call the pros at North Base. A hands-on approach, advice and consulting. Our attention to detail makes the difference. Visit online at northbaseconstruction.com. North Base Construction, great service from the ground up.
If you're an empty nester or looking to downsize, find your solution at Home App Realty. We're the downsizing specialists who make your transitions seamless. From discovering the perfect space to selling your current home, we're here for you. Plus, we know how first impressions count. Home App can help you update your home before selling, ensuring you get the best value. Don't pay anything until closing. Home App Realty. That's HOMAPT.com or call 612-655-2324 to get started today. Hi, this is Katie Shahan with the Yarlo Home Cringe Show, and I'm here with Rich Kerner, owner of Watts Electric. Rich, tell us a little bit about Watts.
We are a family-owned electrical contractor here in Minnesota, and we can help you with any of your electrical needs, from simple to large, we can do it all.
So how do I get in contact with you?
Send us a text at 763-607-6680. That's best because we might have our hands full, but give us a call too.
Or I can reach you at wattselectricmn.com.
At Cura Home, we visit our clients' homes once a quarter, taking care of everything you're supposed to be doing as a perfect homeowner, but we all know we neglect. From cleaning your dryer vent, AC unit, refrigerator coil, to providing all your filters, we can take care of your home with our quarterly visits. Additionally, we offer one-time services like air duct cleaning, dryer vent cleaning, and AC unit cleaning. Visit our website at curahome.com. That's KURAHOME.com, or give us a call, 612-503-4050.
Prepare to revolutionize your home management game with a touch of cutting-edge technology. Do you own a home and love exploring the latest technology? Hi, I'm Katie Shahan, creator of the Yarlow app. Yarlow is a free app that lets you keep track of all your home maintenance improvements and remodeling documents. Add your receipts and warranty information so all your data is at your fingertips. Throw away the paper and join the paperless revolution. Download the Yarlow app or visit yarlow.com today. That's YARLOW.
And welcome back to the Home Cringe Show. We just heard from Nick Hickman with Monkey Wrench Plumbing. And now we're here with Rich Kerner, the owner of Watts Electric in Minnesota. Hey, Rich.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Oh, wonderful. It's chilly out there today.
Oh, yes. We're about to hit fall, aren't we?
Yeah, winter. I've been telling my kids it's snowing next week.
You're the mean dad, I get it.
Yeah. Prepare now. No more fun.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to get started with our favorite game, Fast Pitch, where I ask Rich questions for about a minute, and we get to know him a little better. So here we go.
All right.
Are you family owned and operated?
Yep. We are family owned, and I have one of my sons that works for us.
Oh, I love that. What's your favorite movie?
1941.
Have you ever shocked yourself?
Yes.
Does it hurt?
Yes.
Are you licensed to operate?
Oh, yes, of course. I have a license in Minnesota, Iowa, South Dakota, and Nebraska.
Okay, so just a few states.
Yeah.
What's the most interesting animal encounter you've had on the job?
Oh, my gosh. Well, not really a live one, but we opened up a meter box, and there was a chipmunk completely fried. So we had to remove that.
Wow.
And repair what damage it did and plug the hole that it obviously came up in. So
Oh, wow.
no more fatalities of the chipmunk world.
And then do you do new construction or mostly...
We do everything. I mean, just give us a call, and if it is too big, we just won't do it. But I was just asked this morning about a condo association. They need all new electrical service, like from utility on. And I just said, I'm just not large enough to handle that. But we're for surely a small company that cares about who we work for and care about our work. So
Perfect. So you do a lot with residentials and first-time homeowners and...
Yep. I do, yeah, I know a number of realtors, and we get their flips, we get their inspection reports, so amendments, anything like that. We can go in and fix that up and then send lien waivers and do whatever we need to do with your title company to get it closed out on time.
That's very helpful. I love knowing you, so if I ever need help, that you're available to me.
Well, to certain people I'll be available, I don't know.
And you just have a new website, don't you?
Yep, Watts Electric MN is it just WattsElectricMN.com? Yeah, I'm so used to saying at gmail.com because that's my email address. So.
Perfect. So if any of our listeners have an electrical problem or a question for you, we can just go to your website.
Yep, you can put in and ask a question there, or feel free to text us too at 763-607-6680. And you can call. We can't always say that our hands will be free, that we can pick up the phone, but a text first with your dilemma, and we can reach out as soon as we can make that call.
Perfect. So talking about getting in touch with you, what is your biggest cringe moment in your career so far?
biggest, well, kind of the funniest that a homeowner did is that they recently moved into a home and they had a couple breakers trip within the first week or two that they were there. But of course they were entertaining, they had crock pots plugged in, so they were simply overloading the circuit. So we talked them through that and explained that it was probably no big deal. But then of course, being a new home that was recently remodeled, they believe there's issues. And I think it was no more than about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, their GFI on their countertop tripped out. And then they said that their outside lights were not working and the interior lights in the garage, which would never be connected. So it piqued our interest enough to go up there and find out what's going on because, all right, they shouldn't be connected. Let's find out why. And the GFI was fine. I think they just had a faulty cord on an appliance they plugged in. And the lights, they didn't check their light bulbs. So there were...
So they had dead light bulbs.
There was 3 light bulbs that were burnt out, and they thought the sky was falling. So, so cringe for them, definitely. Like, oh, boy, yep. How many people does it take to screw in a light bulb?
That's hilarious. So, lesson to our listeners, check your breaker,
Yep,
check your GFI,
yep,
and check your light bulbs.
right.
So, speaking of a GFI, some people like me don't necessarily know what a GFI is.
Okay, so they're, a receptacle on your countertop. They protect you from an electrical shock, so you're not the grounding path. So it will interrupt the circuit prior to you getting shocked or hurt or killed or whatever you want to. So they're placed more around water, so either outside, bathrooms, garages, anywhere that you might have the potential of, even being barefoot in your basement that you're plugging something in. So,
and it has the 2 little buttons
yep,
on it.
Yep, they look a little different. They'll have a T and an R on it, and it's test and reset. And you should test them every month just to make sure they trip by just hitting the T and then hit the reset, and then everything will turn back on.
Perfect. So when I go to plug in my hairdryer and it won't turn on,
Yep.
sometimes it's...
Check that first, and then if it still doesn't turn on, try something else in there because it could be your hair dryer. We've had that call too.
And then you also mentioned breakers. So in my house in Minnesota, I have a little box in my basement that I ignore.
Yeah, you should. There's no reason to give it any kind of attention.
And that's where all my breakers go.
Yep.
So the electricity from the outside, from like the meter or the street, and you called that utility earlier,
Yep.
comes into my house right there.
Yep.
And then all of the wires from my house connect into that.
Right. So, long story short, it's that your breaker controls your branch circuit. So, a branch circuit is going to an area of your home, a bedroom area. There would be multiple bedrooms on one circuit. So, if you're looking at your breakers, generally speaking, a 15 amp breaker would be a bedroom area, lighting loads, maybe your garage lights, things like that. So, if a bedroom is off or not working, check your 15 amp breakers for a trip breaker. For kitchens, laundry room, and possibly your garage now, if it's new enough, then check your 20 amp breakers. And then if your air conditioner, range, dryer, electric dryer, anything like that, if those appliances aren't working, then there'll be a 2-pole breaker. So it's going to be a 30, 40, or 50 amp, and they'll be handle tied together.
Okay.
So,
I do know that I personally have had the experience of calling in HVAC because my AC wasn't working and he went and turned the breaker back on.
okay.
So that's
How'd that make you feel?
my pocketbook got a little bit lighter on that one.
Oh, man.
So we're here again with Watts Electric, Rich Kerner, and he says, our biggest tips, when something doesn't work, check your light bulbs, check your breaker, and do the reset on your GFI, because we don't really want to have to pay someone to come out to tell us that great advice.
Yes. Yes. And sometimes, it could be the item you're plugging in. So never not think that, hey, it worked yesterday, today it doesn't. Well, you could have slammed the cord in a door or something and you didn't realize it. And it's just enough to make that breaker say, nope, I shouldn't be working. I need to shut off. So, yeah, things like that.
So we also talked about overloading circuits. And I know that we're getting ready for wintertime, and some people put heat strips in their gutters to prevent ice dams.
Yes.
Now, you have an interesting story about that.
Yeah. We recently remodeled the kitchen, and the home was old enough where the outside receptacle, the patio side, was off the kitchen circuit.
And when you say receptacle, you mean outlet.
Outlet, yeah. Technical term is an outlet is anywhere electricity can come out. So even a light fixture is technically called an outlet. But, so a receptacle is an outlet, yes. So he was telling us that the newly installed AFCI that we have to put in when we do a remodel to protect circuits was tripping. So we went down and we replaced it because it's not, they have little circuit boards in them, and sometimes you're buying a ton of them, or the factory's making 1 million of them, and one has a bad one. So we changed it out, and about 3 days later, he says it tripped out again. So then we went down and we investigated a little more. And of course, we jump in, we're thinking, let's look at the wiring we just did. And to make him feel better, because yes, of course, none of these issues happened before we were in his house. So of course he thinks we did something to his house. But it was the fall time turning into winter. And he, after the remodel and everything, plugged in his heat trace, and that's what was tripping the breaker. So he had an issue with his heat trace.
So he was plugging something in on the same break or circuit,
yep,
that was already had like a powerful thing.
Right.
So I know at my house, I can't run the microwave and the air fryer at the same time.
No, don't do that. Technically, a microwave, if it's done right or recent, you should have your own circuit to it and not be tapped off of your kitchen appliance circuit or a lighting circuit.
Gotcha.
But, people get creative.
These old homes.
Right.
I love that. All right. Well, thanks, Rich, for those wonderful stories. And we do like to end our show every time with asking you our question of, does Watts Electric offer discounts to first-time and first-generation homeowners?
Yes, we would. If you mention the Yarlow Show on 950, we will get you registered in our discount program.
Perfect, because...
Uh-oh. You want a discount?
Yes, I do.
Oh, dang. Right off the bat? Come on.
Yes. But I know you're fair because I've dealt with you for years.
Yes.
But we do believe home ownership should be attainable for everybody. So being able to help first-time and first-generation homeowners, because home ownership is scary.
Yes.
So we really appreciate you being able to give some discounts to.
Well, our entire business is based on referrals. And if you are new to us and we do a good job for you and you like us, then I hope that you refer us to other customers and our business grows because you asked us for a discount.
I love that. Well, thanks, Rich, from Watts Electric. Remember to check out their website, wattselectricmn.com, or give Rich a text at 763-607-6680.
Look at that, the phone's blowing up already.
Thanks, Rich.
Bye-bye.